Good morning, everyone. Good morning for who is listening to us live and recorded. My name is Ilaria Ferri. I am the founder of Star Ops, Business Operations and Events. Our mission is to help small to medium-sized companies to grow strategically, setting up proper process, procedures, workflows to let them scale, but even like events with the intention to retain and attract talent and stakeholders. So today we'll focus on the events. And I decided to invite Furkan because we met to a networking event, and so we clicked straight away. Very interesting what she's doing. So we are going through like 20-25 minutes talk, and then we'll take some questions at the end. Furkan, if you would like to introduce yourself, a bit of background. How long have you been in Ireland?
Sure. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Ilaria. I'm super delighted and excited to be here today. My name is Furkan Karayel. I have been living in Ireland for 20 years. Can you believe the time is just flying? I came as an Erasmus exchange student from Turkey, Istanbul. I was studying software engineering. That was my childhood dream. I got transferred to Athlon IT. Got graduated from there, got my first job as a software engineer. Second job, in total, I worked in tech industry for 10 big years, and all in multinational companies, very large, very multilingual companies as well. And at some point, I got so frustrated because when I realized the number of women, women in the leadership is less and less in tech companies. When I Googled the number of women of color in the leadership positions of big tech companies, it was less than 1%. And I said, oh my God, Houston, we got a problem here. I have to do something. At least I should do my part. And I started doing diversity and inclusion work. Especially the main reason is research shows that inclusive leadership has the most impact when it comes to diversity and inclusion initiatives success, and why you would see talents of diverse backgrounds, in every position of organizations. And it leads to people to stay longer, and the retention rates are higher. So it made all much sense. In the last 7 years, I'm doing diversity and inclusion work, especially inclusive leadership trainings, talks, all engaging and getting people to come into the movement and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm as well Furkan because I have a diploma in HR management, and I work in companies as well before starting my own business. And it's very interesting that might have the best retention package on the paper, but if there is no inclusion, sometimes be aligned on the vision, on the mission and of the company, how to reach the goal. Exactly, there is no retention, and you can let go every talent.
Yes, and you see from outside the companies just look so perfect, so that's why we want to work with them. And people's hopes are always high when they join the company. They want to contribute as much as they can, and later on things happen, they work in different teams. They don't maybe feel like they are aligning to the teams, or maybe they are feeling that they are not being visible enough like other people. The bonding, the trust is gone, they leave.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we can talk about this matter hours, maybe another talk.
Yes.
Yeah, no, so just I want to jump into the core of today. You often say that inclusion shows up in small daily actions. For your perspective, how do company events reflect what a business really stands for?
Yeah, I think the purpose of the meetings should be, or the events should be very clear. I know that I worked in a company for 5 years. I was working with a large number of people in the team. When we had this company event, I had to sit down with those people that I, wasn't interacting every day. And the next day I could easily communicate with them, engage more, ask questions more. So these type of opportunities rise a lot when it comes to engaging people and bringing them into the same alignment of what the purpose of the company does. And sometimes those people need the space to be a little bit outside of the workplace context. For example, the company's purpose could be, or the industry could be in tech, but sometimes the events around, let's say, inclusion and diversity, women at X company. So those type of events actually bring people, doesn't matter what kind of department you work on, you collaborate together, you bond, you build trust, you network, you see how they are doing their day-to-day basis work. So they are all opportunities to connect people and engage people together. So I think they are fantastic opportunities if they are being used in an inclusive way, if they are being opened in a welcoming way. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So can we say maybe that if an event it's not organized with a proper structure, can it mirroring sometimes even the status of the company? And like from your perspective, like how can maybe leaders use these opportunities, like events like yours, talk, or any type of other event to reinforce these inclusive habits?
I think these are fantastic opportunities for leaders to show how inclusion, like what diverse inclusion mean to them as well. Not only looking at it from the work perspective, but as a person, as a human being. Why does it matter to me? To know their story. For example, when I talk about inclusion, I start always about like why it mattered to me, like what made me to transition into a completely different field. So once people know the stories behind, people trust in you and your intention into the topic. So I think it's an opportunity for leaders to tell their story, not to tell like 1 hour story, but a short story from their lifetime, why these things are important and why they are clearly what they are trying to achieve within their workplace, within their organization. On the other side, it's an opportunity to bring that like approachability side of the leaders, because at the end of the day, maybe if they are at a director level, maybe you don't see them every day, but you give them opportunity to come and bring the things that they would like to bring to you. You invite them to join the the mission of that, let's say, event, the message. We are talking about inclusion today. Okay, I shared my stories, now it's your time to share your story. So it all brings the vibe of the event together, and that's how people trust each other. That's how people build real connections, so that it's gonna even last after you left the company.
No, absolutely. Like sometimes when I do organize international events or hybrid, this is one of my first point, like how to don't feel anyone left belong. But it could be even about culturals. It could be top down. Don't feel these difference. Do you have any practical topic? Practical example or tips?
Yes, for example, in each invitation, I would highly recommend to, I always do this. I always encourage organizations or the organizing team to use a welcoming language when they are inviting to the event. Because let's say it's International Women's Day, and then the first question men think is, am I invited there? Use the language that who is going to be getting what out of this, let's say 1 hour. Make it clear, call out, like, for example, every contractor, engineers, HR department, you will be getting X, Y, and Z. So making it a bit clearer and making the invitation a little bit more specific to those people, they will be feeling like, okay, I need to participate. My existence there will be very important. I will be standing for my department there, representing that department. So I think these opportunities can be, practiced in every event, and always in the invitation, add a comment if there is anything in particular special requirement that you would need for this event. Please let us know. Always leave it open and give some examples, maybe in the bracket, this, dietary, accessibility, hearing, subtitles, and all these things. So people will feel like, okay, they actually care about me, my existence, even my need is seen and clearly visible here. So it will make the invitation more welcoming, and I would like to contribute there more.
No, absolutely. And it's very important, like, I think for everyone who's organizing event, because when I organize an event, for me, it's important that everything it's scheduled, from scheduling, invite, understand who's going to be there, especially when I build the event. This is the basic. Understand the audience, understand what the message would be, the purpose. So when I do help my clients, it's not just like booking a room. Behind there is a big work, just because we want the best from it. And so do you think that inclusion or even diversity could be like connecting even to make the event run smoother, or the other way around? Do you feel like if an event it's runs smooth, it's help with the inclusion? People feel more part of it.
Yes, I think this is very important. It's nothing worse than you go to an event and you feel like your identity is missed, your needs are missed, so you better not go there at all. Invitation is one part. On the other side, how you felt treated, how you felt hosted there, your, let's say, food allergies and these type of things. We are both a member of Leo Women's Networking Group, and I absolutely love how each time they specifically put vegan dishes, and they clearly stated, because sometimes they add vegan dishes, but they never say, so you have to find it out. It's even like worse than not having it, because I've been there myself as well. And then they clearly say, like, this is for vegetarian, this, and they always, make the people feel like they have, things that they can do in terms of like eating. It's not only about, networking. Yes, it's a networking event, but while another person can actually eat a sandwich, and if your sandwich is not there, you wouldn't feel like, good about it. You would feel more frustrated. So that's what I really like about the Leo Women's Networking Group.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's true. And sometimes there are really the small details. And Furkal, since you work like in an international environment, we use maybe our audience, they might organize events with different type of teams, maybe different nationality. Is there any tips, like maybe on a cultural perspective, that you like to like this one that we were talking about, like talking about maybe dietary requirement, etc., or just to feel everyone included?
Good one. I can actually show you something about it. Give me a second, because I have my board here, which I will be showing you in a second. So this one, it's a little bit faded, but for example, I put this board on my second book. It's a little bit faded. On my second book launch, and I invited people to write their comments in their own language, any language they choose. For example, people wrote in Portuguese, Garak Mahagat, in Irish, Turkish, in Spanish, Arabic. So maybe you can't see it so well, but inject things that they will be able to contribute, even with like little things, into their event. Either it could be like, if they are in person, they can write their feelings in any language that they choose. In my talks, sometimes if I'm speaking to a large audience, and if there are like 500 people online, then you can't really do this. What I do, I use a tool called Mentee, so people can grab their phones and go to the QR code. And sometimes I ask, like, what languages can you speak? Can you like name 3? And it instantly collects the number of languages, and you see the diversity in the room, in that space, in like 5 seconds maybe. And you feel like, wow, I didn't know people speak this language. I didn't know people have been, for example, in this country or lived in this country. So bring those engaging elements as much as possible, so people can actually feel seen. And another question I ask, like, which part of the world are you connecting from? For example, they write Dublin, Canada, US. So either cities or countries, and you see it's like collecting, and people feel like, oh, I need to enter my like little town in here, so it's gonna show that my existence is there as well. So it's kind of giving yourself, and reflecting there is making you feel like, I'm bonding to this conversation, my existence is being visible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this, like Mentee, it's a strong tool. It can be used even live for example, live conferences. Now, maybe you mentioned the online events, but it could be even used live, maybe like international conferences. Yeah, and just connected to this, like Mentee could be a nice way to collect data from the employees or the participants. Absolutely. Because sometimes, like on organizations, they do organize an event, and they fade itself. When I usually work with my clients, and when I organize events, I really love even to do a follow-up, to work on the after event, just to see what is the takeaway from the event. For example, like using data collected in Mentee during a conference could be a nice way to elaborate data, for example, like for different teams all over the world. And just from your point of view, how can leaders keep making an impact after an event?
I think being a good role model, like practicing what you preach, is the most important thing. People remember what you do rather than what you say. So, to give a long impact, make sure that your visibility as a role model, what you do, how you tell your story about like why inclusion matters to you in your lifetime as a human being, people remember those stories, and people will go and tell those stories outside. So it makes larger impact than you would ever imagine. Be the good role model, or be the inclusive leader you wish you had once. This is the thing I always would like to do. Like, I have written my book, Inclusive Intelligence. I have spent, hundreds of hours on inclusive leadership. I'm still learning. We always have room to grow. We always have things to improve. So give that, vulnerability or space to you, that you can, do better and better, but
Yeah,
be that good role model,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
hopefully it's gonna make a better impact than you ever imagined.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. Like the briefs, follow up, lead by example. But
Mm.
like, do you have any specific, I don't know, exercise that you usually do for the post event, or you suggest, or if you have any tip, maybe like to keep keep doing the work with the team or with the stakeholders as well?
Yes, that's a really good one. At the end of each of my talk, I normally ask, okay, in the last 20, 30 minutes, we have talked about this. What is the one thing you are going to commit to do from this conversation? I always ask this, and people either write into the chat box, or we do a Menti session, and people always bring so many wonderful things that, you would be surprised. You learn from their takeaways. So this is something, I would like to ask to our audience as well. Would you like to write something? What was the one thing that you will take away from this conversation and made you feel like aha moment? And I would be so curious. And if you'd like to text me later on as well, that's fine too.
Yeah, even if some of the attendees here in the live, if they want to put something in the chat, we can read it during the live. So the chat is open. But yeah, it's very interesting, and it's like I really like this conversation, because we are giving away practical tips. It's not only a theoretic conversation. Yeah, and and just now maybe we were talking about more on in-person events, but like let's say, of course. In the last 5 years, we don't say why, we see like an implement of the hybrid events, online events, and what's changed in your perspective in the way the people connect?
And then if you're meeting in person, you can do the small talk. You can turn to your colleague and, quickly ask a question about like their life, how was your house hunting going, and all these things is kind of easy. I think with the remote, the small talk has introduced a little bit, and it also, I feel like, because you don't know where people are connecting from. Is it a coffee shop? Is it from home? Is it a very cramped place that they are, keeping away from the kids sometimes? So these things are happening. And one of the things I'd like to highlight is, let's not force people to turn on their cameras. If they are comfortable, they're going to turn it on. Maybe you can invite like cameras on recommended, but if it is not needed, don't force people, because in those moments it's gonna maybe put the people into a difficult situation. Maybe they are, in the pandemic we couldn't really go outside of home, so the force of like a messy background, maybe they didn't have a study room, it produced more force on people to do more than what they would actually do in an in-person meeting. On the other side, in the positive side, the flexibility wise, it's just have been so perfect. People could easily, collect their kids from school. They didn't need to, rush after work and all these things. So I think there are like pros and cons, but in terms of the inclusion side, I would highly recommend, organizers not to push people to turn on cameras.
Yeah. And like when we created this type of hybrid event, for us, it's about tech, about using the right tool, using a tool maybe to transcribe for us organizers. It's important to have everything organized and in place, because we want to give the opportunity for people that they weren't able to join live, like what we're doing today, to follow up or catch up with any information given. But how can we work it to keep it with a human touch? Well, one thing is maybe like accommodate people if it's not necessary to use the camera, and this it could be even our day society. If you don't feel to that we always feel to show up at our best, like even
Yeah. I would invite everyone to, every team that are only working remotely 100% to inject some like team bonding times very regularly, because this small talk, once the small talks are gone, the bonding is losing its strength. So we need almost like every day to share like what's going on within our heads. My NCT is coming. You just want to share a little bit of your like daily things with the people, so it makes you feel more human. Once you share it, you don't have to spend like 10 minutes. Maybe within 5 minutes everybody shares a little bit of like what's going on, did you get a like good news recently type of conversation. Once these being talked, you feel more recognized. You feel like there is kind of like a team there
connected,
supporting you, connecting you. And somebody suggests, maybe you're struggling with something, maybe you're struggling to find a doctor appointment, and somebody says, have you tried this? So even though it's like little time, you feel like you are being heard, you are being supported, even though those people that you don't see every day face to face. But it is definitely bonding. The small talk, maybe you don't call it small talk time, but it's kind of like a time dedicated for the team to bond and team chat. Regular chat, yes, random chat.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. And this chat, I can't believe it. 30 minutes has gone already.
Wow.
Yeah. No, Furkan, just if you maybe would like to share your social media where people can connect with you and your website, and maybe when they can see this talk as well.
Perfect. I'm in almost every social media. I'm very active on LinkedIn, Instagram, X a little bit. So you would probably find me best on LinkedIn and very active. So make sure you connect and just say hi that you came from this talk. And I also host events, cultural events, cultural dinner events, and I travel around the world as well. Maybe I get an opportunity to say hi to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't wait to your next dinner event. I'm keeping an eye on you. And you have a YouTube channel as well?
Oh, yes, that's right. I have a YouTube channel. I nearly forgot about that. I have two, one Turkish and one English.
Oh, perfect. Okay, for both, like diversity and inclusion. And your website is?
My website, Diverse In. It's like the short version of diversity and inclusion, diversein.com. And also my name and surname together.com, furkankarayel.com is my personal website.
Perfect. And for everyone who wish to connect with me, our company page is Star Ops, Business Operations and Event, on LinkedIn. My profile, it's Ilaria Ferri. It's a bit difficult to type, but yeah, you see mainly the startups name. Our website is www.starups.ie, and I'm going to share this talk with everyone who added the joined invite. Thank you so much for being with us today, Furkan. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I hope to see you soon, and have a great day to you all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.